Hey, welcome back. Tyler here with another weekly update. Not much movement on reading this week. I am about 70-80% of the way through Dust. It's a really interesting third book in this. If you know anything about the Wool series, Wool follows a couple characters, then Shift takes a pretty major shift to some other characters. So Dust is bringing those together and seeming like it's wrapping some stuff up. I'm not finished, but that's the way it seems like we're going. It's been really engaging and I've been enjoying it. I'm trying to read as much as I can. I'm a little busy. I do anticipate I'll probably finish that up over this weekend. So that's a positive, and we can move on to Dungeon Crawler Carl. I am about 65% of the way through thinking fast and slow. I'm teetering on stopping that one and moving on to the next nonfiction. It's been very good, but I'm just losing a little bit of steam on it. I think that it's got a lot of great points and a lot of things that I will probably apply. But like I said last week, it's hitting that nonfiction thing where it's repeating a lot of stuff and I can feel myself not getting as much out of it. So I think that's kind of the sign for me to move on to something else. Maybe I'll revisit it. I really liked it and I really think there's some things in there that most people can apply to their life or apply to a lot of conversations that they have or assumptions that they make. It's just tapering a little bit for me. Coming up next for audiobooks, I really want to read a book called, what is that called? The Courage to be Disliked. This was a recommendation from my wife. She loved it, so that's my plan next. I need to make sure I can actually obtain that. I try to do most audiobooks through the library. If you don't know about the library in that sense, there's a couple apps that are really great for getting audiobooks. Can save you a little bit of money and supports your local library. I think it's a great program. The apps that I use are Libby and Hoopla. And if one doesn't have it, sometimes the other has it, vice versa. And all you usually have to do is just have a library card. Then you download the app. Your library usually goes through those services and you can access that. Fantastic program. Really recommend it to everybody. So, next up for a writing update, we are at 40%. Really happy I made that goal. I think I mentioned that's where I thought we'd be last week. I anticipate maybe I'll start slowing down a little bit. I'm not exactly sure how my style is going to be as far as do I keep on going? Do I just kind of push through? Do I go back and edit a little bit? My inclination now is to just kind of keep pushing forward and keep consistency up and then kind of edit as some stuff comes out to me. That's what I've been doing thus far and it's been working. We'll see if that continues. I also wanted to just talk a little bit about the actual project at this point. So the writing project is, I would call it a sci-fi and fantasy. It's got a lot of fantasy aspects and a lot of sci-fi aspects. It kind of jumps between the two, and you're going to get a little bit of both depending on the chapter and depending on the character that you get. I'm writing multiple perspectives in it. I really love books that do that. The one that comes to mind is Red Rising. The first three books are written from the first person, and then currently the last three books, and I assume the fourth last book will be it's from several different perspectives with your main character still in the first person and some of the other characters in kind of that third person. You get a little bit more attached to your main character and then maybe some of those other characters you're not quite as attached to, but it kind of splits up the writing, it splits up the style, and it makes it a little bit interesting to flip between perspectives. So I am using that perspective or using that right now, the multi perspectives. I'm doing one as a first person and several as third person. I go back and forth on whether I want to keep that or not. Another thing about the project right now, I don't really have a title yet. It does deal with Earth. It's kind of Earth in a near to far future Earth. So your fantasy aspect comes through kind of a rebuilding of Earth, and the sci-fi aspect comes through overarching empire or, kind of antagonist role coming from these spacefaring people. So that's kind of how it's progressing right now. I'm really happy with a lot of the things that I've got going on in it. There's some things that I want to firm up and some things that I think can be kind of meshed together. Because I'm writing from such a discovery way of writing, I think that there's some places where I probably have some inconsistencies. And that's where I'm trying to decide, do I go back and edit that right now, or do I just keep moving forward? As I said, inclination is to keep moving forward because I think that those inconsistencies are kind of going to be throughout, and I can just keep my consistency, keep that going, and then fix it all on the other side without losing steam. The other thing that's happening is I'm definitely coming up with more ideas for either different books, whether that be a sequel to this one or other ideas. I also have a couple other drafts that I have kind of set aside, and I've gone back and read those, and there's a couple that I think have uh, some real potential. So that's kind of exciting. I really enjoy. I mean, if you can't tell, I love sci-fi, and that is what I enjoy writing, and that's what I'm learning out of this. I really enjoy fantasy, and I some of my favorite books are fantasy. For some reason, it doesn't click writing for me. I've tried it. I've tried several times, and I run out of steam because I run out of ideas. Now that could change, but as of now, what is providing consistency and something that I'm excited about is sci-fi. So that's what I'm going to continue in right now. So next week, I anticipate finishing up a couple books. So we'll have some movement on that front. We'll talk about some new books at that point, get some kind of preliminary views on those. I'm guessing we'll be getting close to 50% on writing. I'm very excited for that. That's really kind of driving some consistency for me right now. It's a very exciting thing to say that you're 50% done. I have a couple other videos that have either gone up or will go up, and I am planning to do kind of a mid-year reading update with some of my favorites and some of maybe the DNFs or something like that. Uh, it's been a it's been an interesting year of reading for me in that I just don't have quite as much time, so I'm not moving through books quite as fast as I usually do. But that's okay. I've been enjoying what I have read, and it's been good to make sure that everything that I read is something that I really want to read. That's not something I've always done. I've sometimes trudged through some stuff instead of just calling it quits and moving on to the next thing. I've become a big advocate for that. If you're not enjoying what you're reading, life's too short for stuff that you're not enjoying, and you shouldn't feel pressured to enjoy something just because other people have enjoyed it. So that's it for this week. Hope that those updates on the project were helpful and can help you start to get excited for it as I am. And that's it for me. I'll catch you next time.